ring, the teacher. But tonight, Larry Merchant, this man, Chavez, once the pupil, enters the ring as a heavy favorite against his old stablemate.
That's right. He's 26. Ramirez is nearly 30. Chavez is the up-and-coming star. But Ramirez, I don't think, was ever a star. He was the Pete Rose of boxing in Mexico. He just stuck with it. He didn't get a title shot until his 87th professional fight.
There are a handful, as I mentioned, of undefeated world title holders in the sport of boxing. And among them, Julio Cesar Chavez has the longest existing winning streak. 59-0 by our listings, the listings of Ring Magazine and of the world governing bodies. Some claim that he has had 60 fights. He and his camp claim he has had 61 fights. One thing is certain, he has never lost. And 12 of those victories came in championship bouts. He is not a one-punch knockout fighter, Kevin Rooney, but 50 knockouts in 59 fights attest to his effectiveness.
So there's a lot of combination punches. He goes to the body, goes to the head. He's got good snap, and when he hurts a man, they'll take him out. He's not a one-punch knockout artist, but he could knock you out with one punch if he hits you right.
Well, you see him now saying hello to some of the greats of the sport in the ring as we get ready now to enter the minds of the fighters a little bit as Kevin Rooney broaches boxing strategy in his tips of the night.
One of the things we have to look out for Chavez is very vulnerable to a straight left hand from a southpaw. He's fighting Ramirez, who is a southpaw. Here we see him against Aguilar. He got hit with a left hand. He stays very calm when he gets hit. Here's with Rosario. Get right on the butt. He took it like it was nothing. He works the body very well, and that takes the starch out of a fighter. Here you see him working over Rosario. He's very close to him, which makes it hard for him to be hit, to be counted. He works upstairs and downstairs. He does that very well. That's one of the pluses for him. Now we're going to switch to Ramirez. He's very vulnerable to head punches. He stands straight up, and he's wide open for straight right hands, which you should throw when you're fighting a southpaw. We'll have to look for Chavez to do that, and that's something that Ramirez is going to have to try to get away from by bending. Now, a plus for Ramirez is when he gets hit, he comes back right away. When he has a man hurt, he doesn't let him off the rope. Here we see him against Rosario, opening up with everything he had after he had hurt him.
A good look at Chavez, and as Kevin Rooney pointed out there, he will be facing a southpaw in Ramirez tonight. His last title defense in April here in Las Vegas against Rodolfo Aguilar was his first fight ever against a southpaw. And now here comes the man whom Larry Merchant has referred to as the Pete Rose of Mexican boxing, one of the most durable fighters of this or any other era.
You know, there's an interesting story about him as an honest workman. When he recaptured the title from Terrence Ali on a close decision, he refused to accept the title in his own mind, he told people, until he sat down, watched the tape of the fight, was satisfied that he won the fight. Then he said, okay, I'm the champ again.
Did he really?
Yeah.
That's something. That's something. I like that. I like that.
That's an honest fighter.
That's right.
And you saw the graphic, Kevin, that said that 5 of his 6 losses have been to past, present, or future champions. There are the names of the men who defeated Jose Luis Ramirez. Of course, he avenged the loss to Rosario with a 4th-round knockout of Edwin Rosario a little bit later on down the road.
Yeah, and he was knocked out by the great Oliveras when he was 18 or 19 years old. But he has been in the ring, actually, with more top-ranked fighters in the lightweight division than Chavez has, which is totally meaningless.
Look at this. He's had 106 fights, Kevin. He's been fighting more than half his life, and his face is completely unmarked.
That's right. Well, that shows that he takes a good shot, and he doesn't really get hit that often. Now, you know, he stands straight up, but he overpowers a lot of guys.
The thing about this record is, it's unlikely that we're going to ever again see a champion who's had over 100 fights. Once upon a time, it was not uncommon.
We may never see it again.
Because so many fighters have long amateur careers today.
And because of the economics of the sport, we could talk all night about that. But first, let's look at the tail of the tape, which will show you that the 2 significant differences between the fighters: age, Ramirez, as Larry pointed out, pressing 30, Chavez just 26. And the reach difference, 66.5 to 64, not significant because Chavez likes to step up inside and fight his fight at close quarters anyway.
That is correct. And the age, it doesn't matter neither. I don't believe in age. The age is a state of mind.
What about the 107 fights as opposed to 59?
That has nothing to do with it at this point. Just, 59 fights, 100 fights, at that point, there should be
All right,
no,
let's take a look
advantage.
at Punch Start, our statistical profile of how many punches these fighters throw. And you can see that they're practically mirror images, but Chavez is the quicker-handed and more accurate puncher, and that's reflected also. You can see in the jabs, Ramirez tends to throw more jabs. They land about the same. They fight at such close quarters that they really don't throw that many jabs.
2 titles on the line, the WBA and WBC championships. By and large, they'll be using WBC rules, the most significant one in white there. There is no 3 knockdown rule. And now, for the pre-fight introductions and a special moment in honor of one of the greatest fighters in the history of the sport, let's go up to ring announcer Chuck Hull.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Hilton Center of the Las Vegas Hilton Hotel, where tonight Don King Productions, in association with the Las Vegas Hilton, presents Ole, 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 an evening of World Championship Boxing. These bouts are sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Elias Ghanem, Chairman, Chuck Minker, Executive Director. Commissioners at ringside are Dr. James Nave, Mr. Dwayne Ford, Freddie Little, and Herb Santos. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if I may, I would ask us to pause to reflect for just a moment on the passing of one of boxing's greatest just in the past couple of weeks. A man who freed himself from the ghettos of St. Louis, Missouri, and went on to win 3 world titles at the same time in different weight divisions. He held the lightweight, the featherweight, and the welterweight championships all at the same time, the only man in history to accomplish that feat. After he retired from boxing, he became a member of the ministry and went to California to work with youth around the Long Beach, California area. He was not only an historical boxer, he was a great humanitarian. So what I would ask you now, all rise, please, as I ask our timekeeper, Al Bisick, to sound the 10 count for one of boxing's greatest, Hammerin' Henry Armstrong. May God rest his soul. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the WBC representative at ringside, Mr. Dwayne Ford of Las Vegas, Nevada. Representing the WBA is Mr. Julio Castillo. And representing the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Dr. Elias Ghanem. The judges and officials assigned by the governing bodies for the next bout of the evening. The judges are Rudy Jordan of Los Angeles, California, Mr. Art Lurie of Las Vegas, Nevada, and Mr. Lou Tabbitt, also of Las Vegas, Nevada. The timekeeper is Al Bisick. Counting at the knockdowns is Mike Lachella. The attending physicians at ringside, Dr. Flip Pomansky, Donald Romeo, and Albert Campana. And your referee is Richard Steele. The next bout of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, the main attraction of the night. 12 rounds of boxing for the unification of the WBC WBA Lightweight Championship of the World. Introducing, in the blue corner, fighting out of Culiacan, Mexico, weighing in at 134 pounds, with a professional record of 101 wins, 6 defeats, with 82 KOs. He is the WBC Lightweight Champion of the World, Jose Luis Ramirez. And in the red corner, also from Culiacan, Mexico, weighing in at 135 pounds. His professional record consists of 59 wins, no defeats, with 50. He is the undefeated WBA Lightweight Champion of the World, Julio Cesar Chavez.
I spoke to both fighters in their dressing room. I wanted to caution you to remind them to obey my commands at all times, okay? I understand that, okay, if it's hit here, it's not high, or it's not low, okay? It's right here, it's not low, okay? Obey my commands at all times, shake hands, good luck.
One thing to keep in mind, Ramirez has been knocked down a few times in fights over the last few years, always early in the fight.
That's right. I'm curious to see if that happens, if Chavez is going to finish him.
Referee Richard Steele has handled Chavez's last 2 appearances here in Las Vegas against Edwin Rosario and Rodolfo Aguilar. No American referee has seen Ramirez for more than 3 years, his last 10 bouts having taken place in France.
And remember that this fight is as much about neighborhood honor as it is about world championships.
That's right, that's right.
These kids really feel that.
Round 1 begins between 2 men who know each other as well as any 2 boxers in the ring today.
Chavez is starting out going side to side, and that's very important.
Because Ramirez only knows one way to fight, right, Kevin?
Straightforward. If he goes to the style, he's going to get a clean shot. Ramirez is a good puncher, though. We can't neglect that. He has an excellent chance if he hurts Chavez to take him out of there.
Chavez focusing his eyes on Ramirez's body, but he has not yet stepped in to mount a body attack.
He hasn't thrown anything.
Content for the moment to make Ramirez miss, as Jose Luis Ramirez is the aggressor in the early moments of the fight.
It looks like Chavez is trying to feel him out.
The first punch from Chavez was an uppercut followed by a right hand.
Both landed. Ramirez takes a great shot. We all know that.
Well, and of course, so does Chavez. He took the left hand of Edwin Rosario, regarded as one of the heaviest in the lightweight division.
That is true. That's very true. Took it like it was nothing.
Chavez continuing to focus his eyes on a spot below the point of Ramirez's chin. Ramirez pawing with the jab.
Good right hand left hook.
Solid right hand by Chavez.
Oh, good left hand by Ramirez there.
As they begin to trade punches now in the 2nd minute of round number 1.
Feeling out time is over.
A right to the body and a left to the chin by Chavez. And now he becomes, for the moment, the aggressor.
Made him miss nice there. He slipped away. He just didn't punch. He's got to punch when he makes him miss.
2 right hands. You'll see a lot of right hand leads from Chavez, will we not, Kevin?
That's right. That's what you got to do. That's always effective with southpaws. Always. That's the book on fighting a southpaw. Lead with right hands. Chavez seems to be doing that. Good body.
Another right hand lead from Chavez. Ramirez landed with the jab, missed wildly with the left. Left uppercut on the button by Chavez.
He's thrown that twice and has landed twice so far.
And you can see there his uncanny ability to make a fighter miss at close range. Ramirez just unable to find Chavez's head.
That's very important. Very important.
Right hand landed just at the end of the round. They felt each other out a little bit, but Chavez landed the more effective blows.
What you saw there is that Ramirez is all bullfighter, while Chavez is part bullfighter and bull. I mean, Ramirez is all bull.
No le dé distancia en la salida, Julio. Muy buen round. Esa mano derecha atenta que le va a poner usted en el suelo con esa mano.
That was a good round. Keep close to him and then on the side. Close to him and on the side.
Muy buen trabajo,
Good work. You're doing a good fine. Stay close to him and then to one side. You're doing a great job.
That's good advice, but they should also add. They should also add when he gets to the side that he should punch.
Okay. Dame la toalla.
Seconds.
punch count statistic that showed Ramirez landing only 9 of 74 punches in the round, a reflection of Chavez's ability to slip in close. And Chavez begins round 2 by landing a solid right to Ramirez's head. Now Ramirez begins to look to the body more than he did in round 1.
And that's what he should do. Body punches are very effective.
Chavez countering to the body and to the head with the double left hook. Except for the right hand leads, Chavez is content to counter so far, Kevin.
So far, that's right. It was a good right hook by Ramirez.
And there's a left by Ramirez, which is his best punch of the bout so far.
Double right hand.
Both fighters beginning to step up the action now, and certainly Ramirez is finding Chavez much more than was the case in round 1.
He landed a very good left and a very good right, Kevin.
And he opened up. He thought he hurt him. He opened up. Good work by both fighters here.
Well, and Ramirez has set himself up to be more effective by going to the body to start.
Ooh. Boy, they're both working on body. Without body, them body shots take it out of you. They take the adrenaline out. They take the wind out. They take your will to fight out.
Solid right hand lead by Chavez. And a right hand lands for Ramirez in close.
Good action here. There's another good body shot by Ramirez. The straight left.
This is a much better round for Jose Luis Ramirez than was the case in round 1. And he's gotten Chavez's attention.
I might add, and vice versa.
That's right.
Oh, well, that's been the case from the beginning.
When Chavez leads with that right hand, it throws the fighter off. It gets him off his rhythm. He's been effective with it. He should do more of it. And come back with a left hook. So you don't come back with the left hook.
But he hasn't missed with the right hand lead.
No, he hasn't. Chances are he wouldn't miss with the left hook.
Good left counter by Chavez, but Ramirez continues now as the aggressor, stepping up the pace inside.
Concentrating on the body. It's a good move by Ramirez. That was slow Chavez down. It's a good little move to go to the side, but didn't punch.
Solid right hand counter by Chavez. Both fighters landing as the round comes to an end.
That was major league stuff you saw there. Two experienced, terrific fighters probing each other for weaknesses.
That's right, going at it.
Esté atento en las salidas para contragolpear, ¿entiendes?
Always be ready to counter punch. Always try to hit him first. Always connect him. Try to connect him always. What rhythm? You have to put some more rhythm to it. And always hit him first. Don't give him a chance to do anything. Keep punching. Always close to him. The secret is that you have to fight downstairs.
I was a little surprised, Kevin, that Chavez has decided to be more of the boxer and stand outside.
A little bit. He should be inside. Ramirez's corner gave him good advice to stay on the body, stay close, be aggressive, but work that body. That's right.
And you saw the accuracy reflected in Chavez's statistics for round 2 as our punch stat computer operators had him landing 26 out of 45 blows. But it is Ramirez who moves forward more of the time.
Well, you know, I didn't see 26 blows land. If there was 26 blows landed, I think Ramirez would be out of there.
Kevin, are you trying to tell us you're not a man of the computer age?
Exactly. Not when it comes to scoring punches.
Somehow I suspected that was the case. Kevin Rooney with us, working for the first time as an expert analyst on HBO.
Well, Ramirez is being very aggressive and being effective.
Right hand and a left landed by Ramirez, and for the moment he has Chavez off balance.
Yes, he does. He's scoring effectively.
Chavez now landing again with the right hand leads.
It's another good round so far.
Again, that right hand lead lands.
Kevin, what should Ramirez be doing to avoid that right hand lead?
He should bend. At the point, he should bend down. He should bend his knees.
As you pointed out before the fight, his head is there to be hit.
Right there. And strangely enough, he's landing a straight left on Chavez.
Chavez beginning to pick up the pace with counter lefts and the right hand leads. This round started out as a Jose Luis Ramirez round.
Chavez has evened it up a little bit, but it's still wide open, I think. Well, we got less than a minute now, so we'll see who finishes stronger. It was a good body shot.
Left and a right combination, both landed to the head of Ramirez.
Both boys take a punch well. They've proven that. They both got hit clean and come right back.
Well, Julio Cesar Chavez told us that he had something in his back pocket from the years of memory of being in the ring with Ramirez that he might use. Would you guess that it might be a decision to box a little more?
It looks that way, going side to side, I guess, because he really hasn't shown much. As far as, you know, I thought maybe with the left uppercut, but he stopped using that.
Harold Letterman, our unofficial official, how do you score it so far?
Larry, very, very close. I got a 2-1 Jose Luis Ramirez because of the fact that I think he's a little bit more aggressive during the last 2 rounds, and he's getting into nice straight lefts, and I think Julio Cesar Chavez is having a little bit of problems with the left-handed style.
I have the same score.
Let's take a look at Ramirez as he comes in with a right uppercut and a straight left hand. Now let's take a look at Chavez as he works. A right that landed on the jaw.
You know, when you watch an intra-squad game on a basketball team, players know each other so well that they have trouble scoring and it becomes a defensive exercise. Here are 2 fighters who know each other completely well and yet both have been able to land effectively.
That's right. That's a good point to bring out there, Jim.
Kind of interesting.
It proves that if you're willing to throw punches and take chances, you're willing to accept punches. And that's what both of these fighters do.
Oh, definitely, that they do.
4th round begins. Already tonight in this arena, one unbeaten world champion has been upset and had his title lifted from him. That Miguel Happy Laura of Colombia, beaten by Raul Perez, 21 years old from Mexico. Chavez is 59-0 coming in, and for the moment, you saw that Harold Letterman and Kevin Rooney both had Ramirez ahead in the early going, but it's close.
I should add here that I had Chavez ahead 2-1.
Change in the pattern of the bout. Ramirez continues the aggressor and continues to land, and Chavez continues to counter well.
Well, I thought Chavez opened this round well, and now Ramirez is starting to come on a little bit. Seesaw back and forth here. This is a good fight. I'm waiting for the explosion. Neither man's really opened up yet. Neither one's gone for the knockout. And I think somewhere along the line that's going to happen. There you go.
Right hand
by
he hurt Chavez. Him. Ramirez is staggered but doesn't go down. Chavez steps in. Chavez is known for his patience in this situation. Ramirez unable to fire back for the moment.
And Ramirez is known for firing back in this situation.
Chavez ain't doing enough, in my opinion.
Maybe too patient.
He had him hurt. He didn't open up. He the referee break him. I don't understand that. That's where the sparring comes in. They think they're in a gym, maybe. Another good left hook. I'm a little disappointed.
No question that Chavez hesitated for a moment.
Definitely.
When he had the man in trouble.
Definitely. He looked to the referee. And Ramirez comes back.
Return left by Ramirez. That's a beauty. But a right hand from Chavez. This is, to borrow Larry Merchant's phrase, major league punishment on both sides.
30 seconds left, under 30. Now the exchange. Good body there.
What should Chavez be trying to do?
He should have just opened up whatever. He should have went to the body and the head. Head, body, head. Step to the side. I'm telling you, he had him hurt and he backed off. Maybe he bet the over.
Maybe he was fearful of Ramirez's known ability to come back in a situation where he is in danger.
Well, that could be an excuse, but he should have opened up.
Or possibly it was just his respect.
Too much.
You have to throw more punches. You have to throw more punches. Are you okay? Did he surprise you with that hook? Use your jab. Use your jab. Okay. Don't let him surprise you again. Keep on punching him.
Let's take another look at just how that near knockdown occurred. A good left to the stomach, and Chavez counters right over that left to the belly with a right to the jaw, but he refused to go down and comes back later in the round with a straight left hand. What a remarkable fighter.
And we are
Ramirez
joined now
is.
by the unbeaten heavyweight champion of the world, Mike Tyson. Mike, your reflections on the first 4 rounds of this terrific bout.
Well, this is a fight that's very difficult to judge because in fighting a fighter like Ramirez, you must move. There's no way you're going to beat Ramirez head on. He's a professional fighter. He takes these punches unbelievable. He doesn't even blink. And I'm very surprised that Chavez, as soon as he heard him, he should have opened up with everything. He went to the side, the body, the head, constantly just threw everything he had at him.
That's what your trainer said, Mike. He was sitting there complaining that Chavez didn't open up more.
I think he has a little bit too much respect for this legendary fighter. And we all know he's a great fighter. He's been around.
You've got a new career, Mike.
Well, we'll see.
Mike Tyson is the promoter of this evening's action along with Don King. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're in the 5th round of this WBA and WBC World Championship lightweight bout between Jose Luis Ramirez in the red trunks, Julio Cesar Chavez in the white. We're expecting that later on in the evening, Larry Merchant will be able to talk at a little more length with the heavyweight champ, Mike Tyson.
Keep him up, man. Keep him up.
Low blow. Ramirez comes right back there.
Come on, break. Break.
Oh, man.
You think Ramirez is now fully recovered, Mike?
Absolutely. He's such a professional fighter, you know what I mean? It's vain almost. Look at him, he never blinks. Continue to come on.
Julio allows Jose Luis Ramirez to back him up. Did that hurt him in the eyes of the judges, you believe?
I believe absolutely. I believe that he's thinking about back when they started sparring with one another, because I heard they used to have a great deal of sparring with one another. And Ramirez is a total professional, like I said before. He's going to constantly come out. He's somewhat methodic. He continues to come and plot, never taking a backward step. And in due time, he'll break Chavez. I know a lot of people don't think he'll break him.
Well, Mike, I disagree with that. I agree with everything you said so far, but I don't think he'll break Chavez. I agree that he maybe has too much respect there, and that goes back to the sparring. I definitely agree with that, but I don't think he'll break him.
Well, a lot of strange things happen in the boxing ring.
That's true, as we both know.
In and out of the boxing ring.
That's true, too.
34 seconds to go in the round. You've seen both men land at close quarters. Chavez continues to land the right-hand lead almost whenever he throws it.
He's not doing enough. Like Mike Tyson said, he's not doing enough. Too much respect. If I was in his corner, if that was Mike, I would have told Mike, get out there and get right on this round. You had him almost out. What were you doing?
Mike wouldn't show that respect for any opponent, would he, Kevin?
He hasn't so far.
to a close in a very close bout between two great champions.
Just one more thing for the moment, Mike. Did you see the Damiani Biggs fight
Not
today?
at all. What happened? Damiani lost. Right?
Damiani stopped him at the end of 5 rounds on a cut and looked very impressive.
Dominated. Really? He said he wants to fight you.
Well, you know, Kevin, you shouldn't even talk. You know we're around. We're not going nowhere.
Thank you very much.
Let's fight him.
Thanks so much, Mike. We'll be talking to you later.
Mike Tyson, the heavyweight champ, goes on his way. Larry Merchant.
We're in the corner here.
You are okay. Use both hands.
With Cesar
Combination
Chavez.
of hooks. Combination of punches. How many times he tries to punch? To do your punch. Hit him back.
It appears that Chavez is willing to put on a clinic of boxing here, whereas against some fighters he feels he can overwhelm them with aggression and staying on top of them. That his quick hands here are more of an advantage than just staying shoulder to shoulder with a guy like Ramirez.
That's a good point.
Round 6 begins. Kevin, your assessment to this point in the bout.
I have the bout very close. I got it dead even. 1, 2. I'm sorry, I have Ramirez ahead, 3-2.
And as the round begins, Chavez continues to dance, go side to side, try to present angles to Ramirez, who is, as Larry Merchant said earlier, the bull. Likes to come straight forward. Ramirez, bolder and bolder, it seems, after having been staggered
Low blow.
in the 4th round. Chavez with the straight right hand again.
Low blow.
Ramirez has not been able to solve the right-hand leads by Julio Cesar Chavez, but Chavez doesn't follow up with the left hook to the body.
Does not, and Ramirez stays right in his face. Hit me some more, he's saying. He goes side to side, but he doesn't punch. That's a big mistake on Chavez's part. He should be banging.
And if it goes the distance, it will be a very tough fight to score.
Another low blow. Get away with it.
Richard Steele, normally a very active referee, has stayed away from the 2 low blows.
Well, he may not have been in an angle to see him. We can see him.
Punching it out.
Chavez just pawing with the jab. At no time in the fight has he really tried to use it as a weapon.
And he should. Snap it right in there.
Good series to the head by Chavez. Again set up by the right-hand lead. Ramirez keeps coming forward. We're almost to the midway point of the bout. There has been one great moment of drama when Ramirez was staggered in the 4th round, and Julio Cesar Chavez let him off the hook.
That's right, he let him off the hook.
The question, I think, is whether he did it deliberately.
I think he did, the way I looked at it. Oh, he hurt him there.
Right-hand lead continues to hurt Ramirez. Again, Ramirez staggering.
Oh, this guy's hurt, but he's not opening up enough. Got him hurt again.
Round is going to come to an end before Chavez can do anything with it. Julio Cesar Chavez with a rousing rally, but again, Jose Luis Ramirez stands right there.
Took it all.
Yo lo he dicho, cuando usted quiera, póngase un poquito serio este round y nos vamos al vestuario prontito. Papá, nadie le gana, usted es un...
I've been telling you that you can do it. Get serious. You're a phenomenal guy. Do it in this round if you want to do it. I told you, you're doing it fine. A little bit more and this is finished. Come on. You are showing that you are very good. A little bit more.
Harold, how do you score it so far?
Larry, 4 rounds to 2 favor Julio Cesar Chavez. I think the reason he backed off for the 4th round was he was waiting for the referee to count because he figured that it was a knockdown, and Ramirez was very close to being down if his glove would have touched. Chavez is just landing too many hard right hands, and he's dominating with that hard lead right hand.
That's a good point, but he should have been a nice guy. Should have opened up.
For what it's worth, I have Chavez ahead 5 rounds to 1.
I got it 3-3. Another lead right.
Ramirez with a solid right to the jaw of Julio Cesar Chavez. But Chavez takes a punch very well, as he showed against Rosario.
And so does Ramirez, because he took a lot of punches at the end of that round. He comes out fresh like it's the first round.
Let him up.
That's why he is a true professional, like Mike Tyson was saying before. He has over 100 fights. The true professional, this guy.
He's been fighting more than half his life. He's 29, almost 30, and turned pro when he was 14. Another straight right hand to the jaw.
That's right. He had 11 professional fights by the time of his 15th birthday as a flyweight. Lied about his age. No amateur fights.
Boy, landed all night with that straight right. Good body there.
Another low blow that Chavez got away with. It was to the hip.
I couldn't see from my angle. Chavez should be working the body more.
And for the first time all night, Ramirez looks a little bit worn. He looked down at his shoe tops as he stepped back toward the ropes. It could be that the constant pounding with the right hand is starting to take its toll. A left and a right in close.
Got to do more of that. Got to work the body more. I think if he worked the body more, he'd bring him down. That was a good right hand to the body. He's opening up.
And now Ramirez is in trouble again.
Good right hook ball by Ramirez. He answered.
Chavez looks resolute. This is brutal punishment. Ramirez can't stop the right hand.
He got him hurt. Should open up with everything he has here. He's not, in my opinion. Step to the side and hit him. Get to the side.
You talk about respect. Chavez is showing perhaps inordinate respect for his friend and former stablemate Jose Luis Ramirez.
Plus Ramirez is earning. He's taking these shots well. He won't go down. He's not fighting back as much right now.
Starting to swell around the left eye.
If I was Chavez, I'd just open up with everything.
Chavez lands again to the left eye.
So he can't miss with that right hand.
If he's holding back, I'd hate to see what he does with his enemy.
Okay.
These punches are all landing by Chavez.
I don't see the killer instinct.
I don't know, maybe it's the other way around, Kevin. How does Ramirez stand up?
Well, he's a true professional fighter, like we talked about and Mike Tyson talked about. That's a fact. This guy's a pro.
Left hand lands. This round has been all Chavez.
And a roar goes up for the crowd for all the overbetters. The over-under was 7 rounds.
I made that a 2-point round for Chavez.
He is very good, but he is tired. Be sure that he is getting tired. Even though he is so good, he is tired. He's getting tired, and you could do it. He is very smart. Don't let him outsmart you. You have to hit him. You have to hit him. Luis, you have to hit him. Hit him hard. You're doing very well. You're fighting very well. Little more pressure. Little more pressure. Let's go. Let's do it now.
Kevin, why are the handlers telling Ramirez, who certainly knows better, that Chavez is tired?
I guess they're just trying to soup him up, give him confidence. It goes to show you sometimes these guys don't know what they're watching.
Yeah, but the cornerman can lie. The right hand doesn't lie.
Exactly. And he knows that. But again, not to sound, keep repeating, he's a top professional fighter, this guy. This is what a professional fighter does. No matter how he feels, no matter what happens, he performs. And that's what Ramirez is doing. He just, in my opinion, is in with another potentially top professional fighter. That's why I had to disagree with Mike Tyson. He won't wear him down. There's a good body shot.
Now it is Chavez who backs Ramirez up when they meet head-to-head in the center of the ring.
I I think the tide has turned here, and I think Chavez is going to start to dominate.
You think that Chavez senses now that he's weakened the bull, and that he can dominate the bull?
That he's in control, yes.
Solid right hand.
See him move after he punched? That's what I like about that Chavez.
Another right hand. These are sensational blows at close range.
Ramirez takes him well.
I don't know what Chavez has for skin, but I'll tell you, it would make a hell of a sofa. It would never wear out.
Well, that's another. He has another reputation of that. He just has tough skin, thick skin.
And Ramirez's punches have lost their snap to the extent that Chavez is now willing to stand in head-to-head and take them in order to dish out his own blows. Chavez to the body, to the body.
Now he's in close where he should have been, right along.
Well, I don't think he's worried about what he gets in return now, Kevin. Ramirez is just pawing at him.
Well, I'll tell you, he better worry a little bit, because if he gets careless, this guy could hurt him. You remember Rosario, he had him hurt in the 12th round, almost knocked him out, after taking a beating for 12 rounds. There was a good right hook right there by Ramirez. It's a good exchange here.
Kevin, I don't remember seeing an exchange like this in the corner on the ropes for this long, with two guys hammering at each other in quite that almost clinical way.
You're right.
I can't remember when it was. Yeah, a little trickle of blood on the bridge of Chavez's nose.
Oh, yeah?
I think it's his.
Going to exchange it again. I'll tell you, this is Ramirez. He's right there.
And look at Chavez just back him up with the shoulders.
That's right. Right on. Right on. Close enough where he can't get hit.
Well, they're fighting for a neighborhood championship as well as a world championship, and there you saw a real neighborhood war.
That's right.
Let me see what we have here. Let's do it like, as you were doing it before.
Julio, no se ponga a cambiar golpes, ¿ok?
Do not try to exchange punches with him. Do it as at the beginning. As you were doing at the beginning. Boxing. Now he cut you already. That's not too serious. Don't worry about it. You have to keep on boxing. He has one eye almost closed, so keep trying at it.
Well, that cut doesn't really look that bad on his nose, but if I was Ramirez, I'd go right after with that straight left hand. Try to bust it open, but it doesn't look bad to me. If I'm Chavez, I'm going to get close, work the body and go to the head.
Larry, we're into the ninth, and the Mexican fans who drove up from south of the border have gotten their money's worth.
So are all those out in television land who are seeing two little giants at their best.
Two top professional fighters at their best. These guys are both professional fighters in the true sense.
They're professional in the sense, Kevin, that you got from Customato. They're here to entertain. They're here to really fight.
That's what I'm talking about. Give it their all, take the shot, come back, move their heads. The one man takes a lot, keeps coming. Chavez moves his head. I like that. It looks good. Boy, good right hand.
Solid right hand lead. Didn't follow, as you pointed out, Kevin.
Don't hold him. Don't hold him.
Jose Luis Ramirez has said that he was almost forced into this bout, that a part of him didn't want to fight his close personal friend Julio Cesar Chavez, and both men say, regardless of the outcome, the friendship lasts forever.
And I believe that. And that's why I mean they're professional fighters. They're great friends. They went in this ring and they're fighting like they're bitter enemies.
And although it isn't official, they'll also get, from what I've heard, close to $900,000 each, which should help cement the friendship.
That's right. That will keep you friends.
For doing something they used to do for nothing.
That's right.
Two solid lefts and a right hand by Chavez.
Then
the accuracy of his punches taking its toll.
Then he got out of there. Just another good round for Chavez.
And more it looks like Chavez is going to be content to try to rack up a decision and depend on the judges here.
That's right, just outpoint him. But if he hurts him along the line again, I would like to see if he'll go after him. I'm very curious to see that. There was some power punches by Ramirez, went downstairs, upstairs, answered by Chavez. It's a very entertaining fight.
Kevin, more and more it appears that the tide of the bout has turned in Julio's favor. He's won the last several rounds. What must Ramirez do to reverse it again?
Well, I think he has to jump on him and, like, you know, exchange with him, hoping to catch him with a good shot to open up a little bit, back him up. He's letting him box and control the tempo. He gets him on a rope. He lets him get off the rope. He's got to keep him on a rope. Maybe get a little rough. Grab him, hold him. There's little tricks he can do. He better do it or he's going to lose this fight.
Chavez landing right hand after right hand. Ramirez has never found a defense for it at any time in the 9 nearly completed rounds, and now complete.
And they touch gloves. I don't like that.
Better.
Harold, how do you have it at this stage of the game?
Larry, I got it 88-83, 7-2 in rounds in favor of Julio Cesar Chavez. Jose Luis Ramirez just doesn't seem to have any power left in that left hand. And I think Julio Cesar Chavez is just murdering him with those right hand leads. And Chavez is just sweeping the last 5 rounds in a row. And he's winning the fight very, very big.
Agreed.
Agreed.
So we're unanimous.
There you go. That's not what you would call a classic right hand. It's a kind of somewhere between a jab and a big right hand and a hook. It's not a punch that's designed to really hurt.
Not to knock you out, just to annoy you. Throw him off his pace if he was going to get into it.
Although I confess that I wouldn't want to be on the end of it.
3 rounds to go in this championship bout, increasingly dominated by the man in the white trunks, unbeaten WBA World Lightweight Champion, Julio Cesar Chavez.
Oh. The one thing about Ramirez, you can't count him out.
We can remember the Rosario fight. Rosario had him down twice in the first couple of rounds. He looked at it, he was gone, and he stopped Rosario in the 4th round.
And if I remember earlier, I think it was the 2nd round when he thought he hurt Chavez over here in the corner. He opened up. That's what he has to do to get back in. Really, to have a chance to win, he's going to have to knock him out.
Chavez has twice had Ramirez seemingly close to out on his feet in the bout. Neither time was he able to knock him down.
That was a good right hook by Ramirez. Chavez took it well.
That was his best punch in many rounds.
I think he hurt him a little bit. Oh. Right back. Oh, good right hand. This is a good exchange here. This is entertainment, fellas.
Solid right hand by Chavez. Another one. 3 in the last several seconds. A 4th solid right hand by Chavez. Ramirez continues to stand and deliver in return.
Refuses to go.
Don't hold him. Don't hold him.
Boy, oh boy. I take my hat off to these 2 guys right now, no matter what happens. I'd pay to see the rematch. Oh, there he goes.
Only once in his 59 bouts and 50 knockouts has Julio Cesar Chavez put a man away past the 9th round. That was Edwin Rosario here in Las Vegas. In a bout somewhat similar to this one.
Maybe lightning will strike. Probably not.
Of course, Chavez has never been knocked out. He's unbeaten.
I'm telling you, Ramirez has scored some strong punches this round.
This has been Ramirez's best round in a while.
Definitely. I mean, he hurt this guy. This guy's a good professional fighter. He takes it well. He comes back. Good round. Good round.
It's just target practice with the right hand, though, for Chavez. Ramirez can't even block it with the left.
He doesn't even try. He should be bending. He should concentrate on it. I tell him that in the corner. I chastise him about it.
Look at the heart of Jose Luis Ramirez.
Pressing forward. Always trying.
Another right hand. This is remarkable sustained punishment that Ramirez has been able to endure and continue to fight.
And fight well. He won that round.
I agree. This is like one of those movies where you see so many punches, you say, nobody could take those punches. This is fiction. And what we're seeing here is two guys who are making reality out of that kind of fiction.
Now you have cuts on twice. You keep on boxing, jab, but keep on working on him. Try to hit him in the chest. Here, at the chest. We're all behind you. Don't let him hit you. Keep on punching. Don't let him hit you. Always repeat your punches. Repeat your right hand, Julio. Repeat the right hand.
If it goes on this way, both men can go back to the old neighborhood with pride.
With their heads held high, that's right.
6 minutes to go. Julio Cesar Chavez in the white trunks, Jose Luis Ramirez in the red.
We heard mostly cheerleading from the corners. There wasn't really any substance to what they were saying.
I don't think we're going to see anything too much different, Kevin.
No, we're not. But if I was in the corner of Ramirez, I'd tell him he's got to get out there and really try to rough this guy up and open up. He landed some good punches that round. He hurt him, but the man takes the shot well. Just go for it. He's got to go for a knockout. That's what I would be telling him.
Mike Tyson still alongside us here at ringside and ready to talk with us a little bit more about what's going on in his own life and his career right after this bout. Tremendous championship action in the ring.
Right hand, there's a cut. They should not stop the fight over that. No way, no how.
Now we know that Ramirez is cut. Chavez is not. No blood coming from Chavez.
They should not stop this fight.
No, and Chavez is shaking his head because he's disappointed. I've been curious all along. The two fighters who are noted for going forward, when and if that might happen. It was a distinct possibility. I'm certainly glad it didn't happen early in the fight.
Accidental butt. That was an accidental butt. Let's clarify that right now.
And particularly with the southpaw against the conventional fighter.
There it is. There you saw both fighters coming straight ahead, and they stopped the fight. It's hard to see from here how bad that cut is, except that it is trickling directly into the eye.
Down, so what?
It doesn't look that bad.
So what?
Painful anticlimax in the ring.
That's bad.
Neither fighter satisfied with this.
That's nothing. They're crazy. The doctors are crazy. Harold?
Okay, well, in my estimation, I think they're going to go to the scorecards. You deduct a point in the WBC rules from the fighter who is not injured. In other words, you deduct 1 point from Julio Cesar Chavez. You then score the 11th round, deduct a point from Chavez, and go to the scorecards on an accidental butt. And I think that's what's going to happen.
I'll get it. Hang on. Ooh, that was a bad little bang, but
As you remember, before the fight, I said what we're going to see here is hand-to-hand and head-to-head combat. And I'm a little surprised that this hasn't happened earlier. And grateful.
Well, I can argue with that a little bit because their boys were fighting well, but they knew what they were doing. So when you know what you're doing, you don't bang your head. That was an accidental butt. They both were coming at the same angle, which, what happened.
A lot of times with a southpaw against a conventional fighter, it happens in the first minute of the first round.
That's right, but they're two good fighters. They know what they're doing, and they know each other. I still say they should stop the fight.
They never stepped on each other's feet. They never entangled themselves in any way.
I'll tell you this, fellas. If you had a division of troops like these two guys, you could conquer the world.
Let me say this. This is why I disagree with doctors having the power to stop fights and whatnot. That had to stop the fight. All right, Chavez is winning, but that guy has a chance to knock you out at any point in time. Now, that's my reason right there. This was a good, entertaining fight. You took away 2 rounds for this man maybe to have a chance. Maybe. Here we go. We're seeing the screen now. Don't look. It's nothing. It's nothing. That was a bad call. That's a bad call.
You think that he based his decision on the fact that Chavez was far ahead And so he decided in a questionable situation.
Yes, exactly, yes, and I don't think he should do that. The man wanted to keep fighting, unless the man said something over there, which I don't think he did. He showed very disappointment in his face. I mean, things like that pissed me off.
Right now, this is in the hands of Lou Tabat, Art Lurie, and Rudy Jordan, the three judges empowered by the State Boxing Commission here in Nevada to now determine who will be the winner of this bout.
Is it going to the scorecards? Is it an accidental butt?
Well, Harold Letterman is suggesting that it will go to the scorecards, and that is the WBA rule, which is being used in this instance.
But have we heard anything?
Harold Letterman, let's open Harold one more time for a final analysis here.
Okay, Jim, it's not the WBA rule, it is the WBC rule. In a WBC rule, on an accidental butt, 1 point is deducted from the fighter who is not injured. In other words, 1 point will be deducted from the score of Julio Cesar Chavez. I believe that they will score the 11th round, and the person who has the most points after the 1 point is deducted from Chavez's score will be the winner. Now, in our estimation, Chavez is far ahead, so Chavez should win on a technical decision.
Right, well, let's go up to Chuck Cull right now and find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the decision as rendered. Referee Richard Steele deducts 1 point from the score of Julio Chavez for the butt that has just occurred. I will now read the scores of the officials. Judge Rudy Jordan scores the bout 96-94. Judge Lou Tabat scores the bout 95-93. And Judge Art Lurie scores the bout 98-91. The winner on a technical decision, and now the possessor of 2 lightweight championship belts, Julio Cesar Chavez.
That's right.
Pretty close, though, Kevin.
Too close. The one judge had it right. What did you have, Harold?
Well, after deducting a point, I would have had it 97 for Chavez, 92 for Jose Luis Ramirez. I had Chavez 5 points ahead.
I think that sounds about right.
I wonder when them other scores became so close. A lot of even rounds, Harold, you think, or what?
Well, Kevin, I'll tell you the truth. Jose Luis Ramirez was the aggressor, and obviously they gave him credit for aggressiveness. I didn't think it was effective aggressiveness. I thought that when Ramirez would move forward, he would get nailed by Julio Cesar Chavez's right hand. So you actually score on 4 points on clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense, but it has to be effective aggressiveness. And this is the reason I think the judges scored that many points for Ramirez. They gave it to him on his effectiveness, but yet I still think it wasn't effective aggressiveness. I think that Julio Cesar Chavez landed the clean, hard punches.
But you make a good point, Harold. Some judges are tremendously swayed just by which fighter is coming forward through most of the bout.
But my point is, what were the rounds being scored? Even rounds, or were they giving them to Ramirez? Because I have it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 rounds for Chavez. 7 if you give him the 11th.
Well, let's look at the final punch stat statistics in the bout.
What you have?
Give us a profile of what happened in the bout. You can see that according to our computer operators, Julio Cesar Chavez landed 56% of his punches. Ramirez was the more active fighter. Let's go to Larry Merchant in the ring right now with the winner, Julio Cesar Chavez.
Julio, what happened as you saw it on the cut, and do you think it was serious enough to stop the fight?
¿Crees que si la cortadura era lo suficientemente honda como para suspender el encuentro?
Bueno, todavía no le he visto la cortada, pero...
I still haven't seen the cut.
Él cuando entra agacha mucho la cabeza.
When he comes in, he comes down with his head.
Do you feel that both of you have won your honor in this fight? That you can go back home feeling that you both performed as well as you could?
¿Crees que ambos han ganado un honor con esta pelea y que pueden ir orgullosos ambos cuando regresen a México?
Yo creo que sí, fue una buena pelea.
I think so. It was a very good fight.
Yo hice mi pelea.
I did my fight.
Sinceramente,
Sincerely,
les voy a confesar una cosa delante de Don King.
I'm going to confess something right in front of Don King.
Yo tuve un problema de la costilla.
I had a problem in one rib.
Duré 10 días sin entrenar.
I had 10 days without training.
Y estuvo a punto de suspenderse la pelea porque me fui al hospital.
I was about to stop this fight because I had to go to the hospital.
Y no quise que la pelea se suspendiera porque ya estaban muchos adelantos, iba a perder mucho dinero.
And I didn't want the fight to be stopped because there was too much money involved.
Where exactly were you hurt?
¿Dónde fue que te hirió la costilla? right here at this point.
In the fourth round, you staggered him and then you backed off. Why didn't you finish him then if you were feeling hurt?
En el cuarto round tú le pegaste duro y él se quedó tambaleando, sin embargo tú no lo finalizaste. ¿Por qué te quedaste pensándolo y no lo terminaste?
I don't know, I'm sorry.
I don't know, I'm sorry.
do you think there was in you a little bit too much respect for him at that stage of the fight?
Puedes calificar esto como mucho respeto de parte tuya hacia él. Respeto de amigo.
I don't know, no sé, no.
I really don't know.
Yo creo que hizo una pelea inteligente.
I think I did a very intelligent fight.
No tenía caso fajarme con él.
It wasn't useful to punch with him.
Me estaba fajando nada más cuando había necesidad.
I only did it when it was needed.
Was the fact that your rib was hurt that the reason for the fact that you stood outside and wanted to box him and take him apart in that fashion rather than to overwhelm him at the start?
El hecho de que te dolía una costilla es la razón para que tú trataras de boxearle durante toda la pelea.
Sinceramente sí, peleé con precaución.
Yes, I fought with very carefully.
How do you feel now about what you're going to go to next? Upward to the junior welterweight championship?
I don't know, Don King.
Thank you, muchas gracias. I love you too much.
Welter junior or ligero, I don't know.
Junior welter or light.
But you do want to go on to fight the bigger men.
Yes, very good.
Yes. Very good.
Just one quote from you. You said you want to leave tracks in this life. What do you mean by that?
¿Qué tú quieres decir cuando tú dejas una huella en la vida?
Quiero que todos me recuerden como un gran peleador.
I want everybody to remember me as a great fighter.
Thank you very much. I love you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. And back to Jim and Kevin.